Hi guys, welcome again to Ask Me Lena. Today I wanted to share with you one really good tool that I have used, and it probably has had the biggest positive impact on my interactions and relationships with the people around me. And when I say relationships, it can be anything from the most intimate relationships that we have to our relationships with our parents, children, siblings, co-workers, friends around us, and even strangers. It literally is applicable to any relationship, any interaction that we have, even if we feel like we don't have a relationship with this person. But it's had a really positive impact if we're willing to do it. It's a tool that I came across several years ago based on an article that was written by a New York psychologist. She was basing her article and quoting the famous Maya Angelou. And she said that every person, when they interact with someone, asks 4 questions. And depending on how the person they're interacting with answers these 4 questions, the communication can go in a very positive direction and be very satisfying, or the other way around. Now, what they say is that these questions are almost never asked directly or out loud, and they're not even asked consciously. But still, the answers, the presumed answers that they receive to each question matters and determines the direction in which the communication goes. And those 4 questions are: do you see me? Do you care that I'm here? Am I enough for you, or do you somehow need me to be better? And the last question is, can I tell by the look in your eyes, by the way you look at me, that I'm somehow special to you? Now, I thought that to be really fascinating, and I decided to test it and try it. And what they say is that just like the questions are not asked directly, you don't really answer those questions in words. You answer them with your intent and just embody that feeling and allow that intent to drive your actions and words. It could be just the look, it could be a smile, the way that you say things, the word choice that naturally comes to you when you have that intent to answer these 4 questions with a yes every time you communicate with somebody. So I started testing that, and I started testing that mostly with strangers or people who I didn't know very well, because I realized that most of the time with my friends and loved ones, I was already answering these questions with a yes. So all kinds of things started happening. There was a place where I would very often go to get breakfast or lunch or snacks, and when I treated just the person at the register this way, I answered these questions with a yes, they started offering me free pastries. They noticed when I was there and they smiled every time. There was one lady once who seemed kind of unfriendly a little bit, very serious face. She didn't engage in conversations with anybody, didn't smile. And one day, after not having been there for several days, I walked in and she said, "Where have you been?" And she smiled at me and she made a comment about my dress. And I was shocked that she even noticed me as somebody, because she seemed to just be doing her job and not really paying much attention to the people that she was helping every single day. And I've tried it with the barista at Starbucks or the person at the register, even with a person that you randomly happen to ride the elevator on your way to work that day. And very often people are surprised, like, "Oh, you really see me? You really acknowledge me as the person that I am, not just the position that I take at the moment, not just the role that I'm playing." In the cafeteria at work, for example, I once ordered fish with something, and I opened the box when I went to the table, and instead I had 2 pieces of fish instead of 1. And my coworkers always made fun of me a little bit and teased me, and they said, "Oh, what are you doing with people, and you're flirting with them and all of that." But it wasn't really about that. It was, and I didn't tell them about the exercise that I was doing at the time, but it was like really seeing that person for who they were and not needing them to be different in any way at that moment. And how many interactions do we have with people that are really short? How much time does it take for you to pay for your coffee and move on? And also, one of the things that I discovered is not only did that have a very positive effect on the people that I would interact with, I was feeling really good as a result of that. After having done this exercise and seeing all the positive effects of it, I realized that there's one huge, profound missing piece that I decided to add for myself. That positive effect of this exercise was there because most of us, probably every single one of us, had the need to feel special, to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to be seen, including myself. I had all of those needs. And what I realized is that I needed these things from others, and things went really well in my interactions with others when I received those things because I wasn't giving them to myself. I wasn't really seeing myself. I wasn't feeling like I was enough. I always felt like I needed to be more, I needed to be better, I needed to be different. And I didn't see myself as special, and I needed to do that. So by far, and that was not part of the article or the recommendation there, but I absolutely recommend it to you, is to start answering these questions with a big firm yes when you communicate with yourself. Do you see you? Do you care that you're here? Are you good enough for you, or do you somehow need you to be better? And are you special for yourself? Once I did that, it became absolutely natural for me to do that when I interact with others. It was automatic. I didn't have to try. I didn't have to think about it. It had to start with me. And when we learn how to do that for ourselves and we embody it silently and even unconsciously, we give permission to others to do the same for themselves. So basically, the only person we really need to learn how to communicate in that positive way with is ourselves, because the rest of it becomes automatic. If you try this exercise, and I hope that you do, feel free to let me know in the comments below how it goes, because I know there will be some really cool stories coming out of it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Click on the bell so that you can get notified of future videos. To book a session, go to askmilena.com, and don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter for free fun tools like this one that you can use in your everyday life. I will see you next week. Bye bye.